Well, hello everyone and welcome. Today I've come to you to show you two upcycle garments and also my Salopette Jumpsuit toile. So stay tuned if you'd like to see those. Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Welcome to anybody who's new and welcome back to my subscribers. And a very big thank you to all of those people who have treated me to a coffee through my Ko-fi account. It is very much appreciated. So today I thought I would show you some things I have been upcycling. So what I did is I've started to look through my wardrobe to see what I could donate and try and cull some of my clothes. I have culled some shoes, but and taken some other shoes to the boot makers. But I have got two things I specifically love the fabric of and wanted to keep them, but I was never wearing the item they were. So the first one is this, and this is the Aria button-down dress. Now I'd put a tear on the bottom of it. I love the fabric. This is a cotton sateen, although it has no stretch in it, and it's from Spotlight. And I made this probably a year ago. I can't really remember how long ago. And I really love the fabric, but it does have the issue where the inside of the fabric is white, and so you could see it here. I will insert a photo of what it looks like. And then I thought, well, it's already a busy fabric, so I wouldn't really want to put a scarf on it unless I had a plain scarf. So I found a necklace to put around it. So with a necklace around it, it holds it up, because when you close up the collar like you were going to have it fully closed up, it is way too big for my neck. I don't know why when it fits in the shoulders and everything else, but I love the fabric, so I hope to be able to get some wear out of this as a shirt. And I had stitched down the front and just sewn the buttons on the original dress, and so I decided I would make buttonholes and make them functioning. I mean, there's quite a bit of work in this dress. It's got a full tower placket, sleeve cuff, and the Aria button down is the one where I'll just take this off, where the shirt collar and the shirt are one piece. So this has no seam in it. It's all one piece. And I interfaced both the collar stand, which is one piece. I interfaced both sides of it, the top and the bottom, just for more stability. But even then, it doesn't stand as well as a separate collar and collar stand. It does a job, but it doesn't stand up as well. Now, I must admit, even if I only interface one side of my collar, I will interface both sides of the collar stand, because I like the collar stand to stand up so that you can make the collar do whatever you want. But this was a really good option, turning this dress into a shirt. I think I wore the dress once, and probably not for very long, because I just didn't like it. I think it was the frill, or maybe the fabric's just not suitable for a full dress, but it's okay for a shirt. Now the next thing I had was, this was, I guess, and still is, a Gilbert Tie Front top. So it was the Gilbert shirt with the tie front top, which you'll see from the peculiar way it looks now, because that's where it came down and it tied. So you didn't have your button placket, you know, double-faced, or in fact triple-faced in the end. So I decided, I have worn that as a tie-up shirt, but I'm way too old for my stomach to even accidentally go on show. So this is why I was thinking, I love this fabric. Now this fabric is a Devonstone cotton lawn, and the artwork is by Lily Miranda, and it's Flora Australis. It came from a Dahlia Sewciety bespoke box, and I love the fabric. It's just beautiful fabric, this lawn. And so I thought, how can I get some wear out of this? So I manipulated and trimmed off the front to turn it into a straight front, and then I made some pajama pants, so some shorty pajama pants. So I used the Caroline pajama pants pattern, the Caroline pajama pattern by Closet Core, and just made the shorty pajamas. I did do a bit of bias binding because I didn't really have very much fabric. So I tried to use as much fabric as I could. I had scraps, so I made some bias binding, which has got lots of joins in it, but you can't see that with this busy pattern. So I think I will get some great wear out of those in summer. So really pleased with those, because I do keep on wondering why I don't make more pajamas. And the last thing I've been doing is making a toile. I know, it's me, and I've made a toile of the Salopette overalls by Cousette Patterns. Oh, they're actually calling it, this is it in English, they're calling it a jumpsuit. So this has got a lot of lovely design lines on it. These two are darts here, and it's darts in the front and the back of the legs. So you can probably see that better in the images on the instructions than you can from my calico toile. So you can see it's got front and back patch pockets, and it's got darts in the front and the back of the legs at the bottom to give it a tapered look. And the straps, this is what the strap setup looks like at the back. Now, when I did the straps, they were like really, really long. And then I realized in some of the photos, not in the book at all, but in some of the photos, they actually had it tied rather than buttoned. In the book, it's buttoned, so it's got a button closure up here, and in some of the photos of them, I'll find one and insert it, it's got to pull through the buttonhole and tie it up, which is not my preference. My preference would always be just to have it button up. I probably make sure the straps are longer on children's overalls and babies' overalls, because provided you put your buttonholes in the bib, that means that when it comes to your strap, especially in a children's one, and an adult's one it's unlikely to change, you can start off with your button up here and button it, and then when they grow you can keep on extending it out. It gives you a much longer life in a pair of overalls if you have the ability to move the button. So always do the buttonhole in the bib and put the button on the strap, because it's really easy to move. And I must say, this has got a lot of top stitching in it. So I can see it's got a lot of top stitching here and here. Even though when I look at that front legs, it just reminds me of stud button overalls for babies, so you can change their nappy. That's what it looks like to me. But you would often on a pair of jeans have the single row of top stitching on the insides of the legs, on the inside seam, but this certainly would have double top stitching. It looks like it's got double top stitching in most places on it. And the darts, I believe, are stitched down. Yes, they are. The darts are stitched down singly. The pockets are double stitched down, which is pretty normal, like the back pocket of a pair of jeans is. The outside of the leg has no top stitching, but you know why? The way this is constructed, you're sewing the front to the back leg, inside leg, I should say, and then you're sewing the crutch section together, so you've got your side bits open. And so to do top stitching on that, when you do a pair of jeans, from memory, you top stitch down to the bottom of the inside of the pocket, so you're only top stitching down, I don't know, 18 or 20 centimeters, and it's a lot to get under your machine. If you weren't using a free arm, I think you'd find it very difficult to get that under there, or you'd have to do it from both ends and meet in the middle. So it's probably one of the reasons why. I'm remembering overalls actually come up much higher than a pair of jeans, usually. So the alterations I'm going to make is, this is originally what I thought would be a turnover piece, but it's not. It was where you top stitched it. So it's this much too long in the front for me. Not sure if I will keep that piece on there to make that piece across here bulkier, but when I cut out my denim, just show you the denim. So this is the green denim I've got that I got from the Dahlia Sewciety the other day. I've overlocked it in a few different colours and washed it. Washed it twice, dried it twice already. So I was thinking it would be like that, but it'll actually be like that. So I have to decide if that, I think it actually looks nice with that thick band at the top, but I'll see how I go and see if I either cut this piece off, or probably cut it out with it on it, see if I cut this piece off or not. The other thing I'm going to be doing is reducing the length of the strap. I will be reducing the length of the strap by 18 centimetres. That's because it is designed so that you can pull it through. Let's see if it tells us that. You know me, always reading the instructions. I must admit, it does give you fantastic instructions on where to take them up or down. So where to lengthen or shorten your overalls. Are they too long in the body? Are they too long or short in the legs? So it's really quite comprehensive. Now this is one where you need to check the length of it, because these are too long for me, but if I just cut off the bottom, I'm going to lose that tapered leg look with the dart. So I am taking them up in the correct place. You have interfacing on the facings and the straps, double top stitching for the finishing, and I will block fuse it. A much nicer finish on a block fuse. So you do everything, and your facing is really the final thing, because you're attaching your straps on the back naturally before you put the back facing on. So this is a look at what the facing pieces are. So as you can see, practically the whole bib down to here is going to be faced with this facing. That's the back facing. So whether or not I leave that top piece in, I don't know, because it doesn't have a front patch pocket which overalls usually do. Now, one of the reasons I made the toile was to decide if, do I look like someone that's trying to dress up as a child? But I actually really like them. I really like them. I do have to take up the leg, and I'm happy with where I'm taking this up, and I'm taking it up by 4 centimeters. So it's really 4 centimeters too long in the leg and 4.5 centimeters too long in the bib. So I don't think I'd want it to come up any higher than I've got it in my photos in the toile. But that's the adjustments I've got so far. I probably will try them on again and make sure I'm happy with the back. You know what it's like when you're doing a toile, trying to adjust the back legs yourself and using a mirror, doing it, changing it, taking them off, putting them on. Anyway, that's what I'm up to. I have not started on my other fabric yet, which is this gorgeous fabric that I got in my bespoke box. So I am going to make a top to go under the overalls. And so I was going to make the top that that Kristen made, the one that we got the discount on the pattern. I can't remember the name of it now. I will put it in on the screen and put a photo of it. That's probably even better. But I've decided that that might be a bit too baggy and too long to go under overalls. Because when I tried them on, I actually had this polo neck jumper on. I've got lots of polo neck jumpers that I can wear under it. So I've got black, navy, white, green, or sort of a green marley colour, hot pink, and purple. The purple's really a aubergine colour. So I have got lots of polo neck jumpers that I can wear under those overalls. Sorry, jumpsuit. But I really wanted to make this because it's so beautiful and fleecy on the inside that this has been washed and dried as well. That you can see that fleece there because that light's coming through the window. It's a Poppy brand, so it's really good quality. Really nice and thick. And I thought, well, that'll be something different. I could wear something patterned under it. So I haven't decided what top I will make out of that yet. But I will make a top in that other pattern. I don't really have much fleece, and I'm supposed to be putting all these fabrics in boxes. I think I could sew to the very last minute. I've packed up so many sewing machines and things. My husband did ask me when he saw my big tubs full of, I don't want to call them scrap fabrics because lots of them have got nearly a metre in there. So to me, that's not a scrap, that's just fabric you can do something with. If I was throwing it out, please. No, I'm not throwing it out. I'm going to make use of it. That's all from me. I'm going to continue on with my Salopette jumpsuit and see how I go. I need to be really happy with the toile before I cut into that denim. And they're not really tight around here, like where they come up to, which is here. I guess like at the bottom of your ribs they come to. Because they're pull on. They have no zip, no side access or anything. I know what I didn't say. I made the size large, which based on this in English is a 40 to 42. It's a waist of 74 to 77 and a hip of 99 to 102. Now my hips are 99 and that's what I was basing it on. They fit in the waist, no problem. The bust is not an issue because they're overalls. And it says somewhere in the instructions, carefully measure yourself. If you're between sizes, we recommend choosing the size closest to your hip measurement, which is, I chose my hip measurement, knowing that I would be able to get them on easy enough. But I'm not so sure for a pear-shaped person. For a pear-shaped person, they're going to be big in the waist if you go off the hips. Because I did think if they were too big, there's other things you can do. And I've seen it on other pairs of overalls and especially on little kids' overalls, toddlers' overalls, is that in this part here, you can just put a piece of fabric, thread some elastic through, stitch it down and make it an elastic tab to bring it in a bit more. So if you were thinking that they are too big in the back for you, here at your waist, if you're a pear-shaped person whose waist is much smaller, see my waist is not much smaller than my hips, so it's not an issue for me. But if you're going off your hip measurement, you may want to just put a little bit of elastic across the back. And my suggestion would be to sew, well, just like making yourself a piece of wide bias binding, stitch that on, thread the elastic through and stitch it down either end, and that will pull them in. But it's not something that I'm going to need to do, but I did wonder when I looked at the pattern what the closures were. Well, it's just the buttons at the top. And I don't have any buttons and I don't have any matching thread. I'm not going to stitch it with top stitching thread. I'm only going to stitch it with normal Gutermann thread, but using a denim needle, because I don't have my top stitching machine because it's packed away. I'm going to be stitching it all on my Juki machine, which will easily be able to handle it. But I usually like my top stitching machine, especially in the case is if your top stitching was a different color. This is going to be the same color. I actually prefer most of my top stitching not to be in a color unless it's a dark denim and I'm going for that gold color in it. But anyway, hopefully I get lots done in between packing and going to work and all of those things, and trying to get every appointment that I'm supposed to have had since January out of the way before I move. So I'll talk to you all soon. Everybody have a wonderful week. Please like and subscribe. Bye.